What's going on YouTube? It's Matt Law. So today's another Chats with Matt, and I brought in Matt.
What's going on,
Matt,
man?
This is Matt.
What's going on, man?
The last time Matt was here, Matt's been on twice so far.
Yeah, twice now.
You're the 21-year-old that made $23,000.
First deal.
Blowed up. Did you get emails from that, by the way?
I did get one person that reached out to me. I reached back to them and waiting on a response, but
they didn't get back to you.
No, nothing yet. But I'm really encouraged.
You're watching person that reached out to Matt. Get back to him.
Yeah.
And then we did another Chats with Matt, you and I, which is a great conversation, right, about getting started with very little or no money. Right. So I wanted to invite you back to another Chats with Matt because we had a good little dynamic.
Right.
So another Chats with Matt, and the way Chats with Matt works is I don't know the questions you guys are going to ask. This is just riffing, chatting about real estate.
I got a good one. You guys know about the title.
Chatting about real estate. So fire away, Matt. What do you got?
So first, I want to know. I want to dumb it down to 3 things. I don't want to be here all day with you. I appreciate your time.
I don't either.
So here's the thing. What are 3? Dumb it down to the 3 best action steps you can take from taking your real estate business from a hobby to an actual business.
Okay. The whole hobby thing. Yeah. Okay. So taking it from like
getting it in between your job to really like somebody doesn't like their job.
So is this like how to go full time or how to quit
deals?
How to quit?
Yeah, really
batting around with the business and make it a for real thing.
Yeah. So like 3 progressive steps.
Okay. Do you want to do? And I
one.
Do you want to do how to go full time? Because I can do that.
Right. How to go full time, and then touch on what the actual broad answer is, and then a little bit more detail of what it looks like.
All right. Okay, cool. So I think that if you want to go full time in this business, you need to have cash. You need to have money. Right. And when I went full time, my wife and I found a way to live below our means so that I could quit my job and start up a full-time real estate investing company, right? So that's one thing that you guys could do is if you have a spouse and they have to be enrolled in this real estate business, and if your spouse is not enrolled in real estate investing, then find a way to get them enrolled in it, because this business causes a different lifestyle. Sometimes you might have to wait a little bit till you buy the new car. Sometimes you might have to make different choices so that you can build a big real estate business. It's very rewarding, but in the beginning especially, your spouse has to be on board with what you're doing. So
100% agree.
Right. So let's make that number 1. Get your spouse, if you are married or have a significant other, make sure your spouse is 100% on board with what you're doing.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, you got to go full time. This business can consume you in the beginning. You're going to put a lot of hours in. You may need them to support financially a little bit. Okay. So that's number 1, spouse. Number 2, on the income side, I think that it's good to have some streams of income.
Absolutely.
Unless you want to just grab your cojones and just quit.
That's an option too.
It is. But honestly,
I took that route.
Yeah, I did not. It lit a fire under you, but also you lose some sleep at nights and stuff.
I was just gonna say it's absolutely terrifying to do it that way. It is, guys. If you try to go that way, where you don't have any money and you're relying on your parents, if they could support you, I would do it and literally let that fire just make it happen.
Especially if you're younger and you're still. Maybe you live in mom and dad's basement for a year or two. Show them that you're getting a real estate business going, but at the end of the day, you got to minimize your overhead, right? In that. So just going back to Liz and I, just speaking from my personal experience, we lived off of her job for a while, but then after that, like 5 years in, she quit her job, and we lived on savings. We had boosted up a nice little savings account that we lived off of.
This is why you guys were building DeRosa Group.
Yes, and that was hell, man. That sucked because we weren't making enough money with the DeRosa Group to get by, and we were living off of what was in our savings account. It was awful. It really was. This business, especially if you don't have that regular income coming in, can put a strain on everything in your life. And so I think that if you're going to break off, I would have an income coming from something. Most of the people that I know that got started in real estate were doing a thing that generated some income for themselves, and they did less and less of that thing as their real estate business got going.
And it's a smooth transition.
Right. Like a buddy of mine was a realtor, and that was the thing he did. And he was a real estate agent, and he made plenty of commissions showing properties he was primarily a landlord's agent, meaning like he showed leased units. He did a lot of leasing for a fee. And did that, and now he's a full-time investor and doesn't do that anymore. He quit doing that a couple of years ago because he didn't need the money. He was making enough money off of his business, right?
Right.
I've seen people that are project project managers that work for fix and flippers, and they just go and drive contractors and make a weekly fee and everything like that, and just beat the crap out of everybody involved in the job, and then make a fee. And then eventually they'll work for like 3 flippers, and then they got their own flip. And then eventually they work for 2 flippers and they got 2 flips, and eventually they got all they're running all their own flips. If you know construction, that's a great transition, but you got to have some.
Yeah, that's a good way to keep your feet in. If you know construction, you can keep your feet in. You see the work being done, and before you know it, you got your own project.
It's nice to have some segue of transition. I know that you're working as a full-time wholesaler, right?
Yep.
That's the thing that you're doing. Right? Do you want to be a full-time wholesaler forever?
No.
No, you want to get into landlording and you want to have assets and everything like that. But the thing you're getting yourself into is wholesaling. Now, I'll say that a lot of people that first get started in real estate, they like wholesaling is what they do because they think that I don't have any money, I'm going to be a wholesaler. You know, and wholesaling is what you do when you're strapped on cash.
100%.
That's what they think. I don't agree that that's the path. You're a great wholesaler because you're a great negotiator, you're a hustler, you want to go out and find deals, you're good with people. You check a lot of the wholesaling boxes, but there's other people that I've met that want to wholesale strictly because they don't have money, right? And I think that there's other things they could be doing. Would you agree? That not everybody should be a wholesaler.
No,
right?
Not everybody should be a wholesaler. And some people, if their end goal is to have passive income, you should chase passive income instead of you finding strategic ways to get private money.
It's tough to chase passive income.
It is. But isn't that the ultimate goal?
Because passive income starts out as a little trickle, and then it turns into a stream, and then it turns into and all that. But it's not in the very beginning. Like if you're buying like a single family home with your own money or whatever, you're making $300-400 a month in cash flow tops. That's awesome, but you're not going to retire on that. That might make your car payment. That's
right,
it,
sure.
So
you need something else while you
do, and that's why there's real estate agents, project managers, wholesalers, mortgage brokers, whatever it is that's around the business, that you're around the conversation of real estate, but maybe not directly in real estate investing yourself, but you're around it, and you can do it while you do the other thing.
Right. So you can build up the money while you're taking it from the hobby. So you should.
Is that 2 or 3?
That's 1.
That's we get the spouse.
So we got the spouse.
We got the something to generate. Okay, and then the biggest thing, and this is probably should have been number 1, but like you got to have a solid set of goals and a business plan in writing with what you want to do with yourself in this business. So I want to accomplish this stuff, or I want to have this many units after the year 1, or accomplish this many deals, or make this much money. And then you need to review those goals regularly. And then you've got to have the plan in place on how you're going to get there. So I recommend people have 1, 3, and 5 year goals.
Right.
Okay. And so it sounds so. I know it's hokey, and a lot of the gurus and whatnot talk about the goal thing, but they do it because it's true. It's true that you need to have goals.
I agree. I set goals ever since I sat with you a couple months ago. We talked about setting goals.
But it works, right?
It does work.
Yeah,
it does work, and it gives you a sense of peace for the future because it will become that's the universe is what you make it.
And you never have to wake up and think like, geez, what am I going to do today? Well, if you're looking for something to do, look at your goals. Look towards manifesting those for yourself. And it gives you that direction.
Is that our number 3?
That's number 3. We
set goals.
I just made it up. Cool.
That would be number 1. I would say number 3.
I know. So I can move it to number 1.
Yeah, let's do it in reverse. So you got to get your spouse on board, and then number 2 is you got to do something that's helping transition.
Set goals with your spouse. I don't know. I mean, if your significant other was involved in creating your goals. If she was involved in that. My wife and I wrote our goals together.
Right.
But I think that's a great way.
That's fantastic.
For you to bring your spouse in.
Yeah.
It's like, honey, listen, you know what we're going to do? We're going to write all the goals that I have for this business, and I want you to be a part of it because you're going to benefit from it, and I might need your help in getting there. Right? So let's create this.
That's fantastic, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because that'll really screen out your mate and let her know that I'm serious about this business, I'm serious about being my own boss, and if she kind of is half serious about it, it kind of lets you know, it's either you got to get on board, this is a real thing, or...
You know what else, though? It also helps paint the picture about what life's going to look like 5 years from now, Because it lets them know the why that you're doing this. And so it might mean, okay, maybe we can start a family in a couple of years. Maybe we can live in a bigger house. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can live... Right, build a legacy. Maybe we can X, Y, Z. And it helps create the why for your spouse by seeing where you're going to be in 5 years. And it makes them okay with maybe you're going to be out at real estate meetings 3 nights a week for the first 6 months and hustling and building the business. And maybe, they might have to bear a little more of the brunt of the expenses in the very, very beginning while you work your tail off to get things spun up, because they see that 5-year goal.
Right. And by the way, in the very beginning, you got to let your spouse know that you're going to be going to meetings and all this, because if you don't, they're going to think you're out cheating on them or something. You know, like, why are you out at all these meetings? You never did this before.
I love that's where you go.
You got to do that.
Like, who are you with? Who's your go think?
Game.
Right, yeah. Like,
you got to let them know.
They're sniffing you. Make sure you don't smell like perfume when you come home.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. I was somebody at the meeting, man. I'm telling you.
Right. Just real estate.
Yeah. Cool. That was awesome. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was 3 phenomenal
We'll do another
things.
chat. We'll do another chats with Matt soon, guys. Thank you. Now you gotta get it
Thanks
right
for
this
having
time.
me.
Last time we did this, you and I botched it, so let's try it again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No,
so here it is
phenomenal.
again. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great and profitable week.